Hi, it's Chandra from Glow Living. Recently, I went to a party and ran into a friend of mine, Rogerio Jardim, who told me about his journey with being diagnosed with cancer. And I thought it would be really interesting to give him a call and videotape it for you guys because he really is so inspiring when you hear about what he went through and how it really could have taken him to the brink of death. And he was able to maintain a very positive attitude, even facing these life threatening conditions. Right now, he's about 3 years past that experience and really thriving. He's working on a record with a bunch of musicians for his own solo project, but he's also touring as the drummer for a band called Infected Mushroom. And he, in addition, is also doing some video courses on how to play drums. So I'm really excited to bring you guys an interview with Rogerio Jardim from Infected Mushroom. And I hope you get as much out of hearing about his experience as I did when I ran into him at the party. So here we go. It was so great seeing you at the party, at the Plug-in Alliance party the other day.
Thank you. It was great seeing you too.
And I was really impacted by your story about your cancer recovery. And it was so inspiring to me because of the positive outlook that you have and the lessons that you've learned that I really wanted to kind of have another conversation with you. So I want to start by just asking you, what are you focusing on right now? Because this has been a long road, and then maybe we can kind of get a quick update on how you're doing, and then kind of flip back to your whole story, like the road that you are on with this recovery journey.
Yes. Right now, I've been working on my album. I have a new album almost ready. I've been working on it, very busy working on it, and also I've been making video lessons. I want to start next year, like with offering a lot of stuff for fans and followers and friends and online. I wanna start creating this connection online with people. And also I've been touring with Infected Mushroom, which is an electronic band. I've been with them for 10 years now. And it's been great. I don't regret a single minute. It's been great. I learned a lot. And in fact, they're so good friends of mine. And when I got sick, when I got diagnosed, they actually helped me so much spiritually. They support me so much. Ares and Duvdev, and the whole band, but especially those two. And they told me, look, you're not going to lose your job. You're going to get better. And then you come back to your gig. The chair is yours. So, I mean, it was really nice to hear that, because you know how it is. I mean, sometimes when you don't function anymore, you're automatically out of the system, out of the loop, if you will. But with me, I had a peace of mind that, okay, if I get better, if I continue in this life, I'll play again. I'll be able to play again. So yeah.
Well, I know that your circumstances were life-threatening. So for those people who don't know what you went through, can you tell me a little bit about the initial diagnosis and what that actually ended up meaning for you?
Yeah. In the beginning, I noticed that I had a bump over here. And I went to the doctor to do a scan. And I had a different health insurance at the time. And they said, this is not dangerous. This is probably an infection that you got. So let's wait a little bit and, let's see if it's going to go away. So I wait, but then I got busy. I had to tour. I had to play. I had to work. I had to make money. I had to pay the rent. I had to do a lot of stuff. And sometimes the bump was going away. Sometimes it was coming back. So I was thinking, all right, well, I'll give it another month and then I will check into that. So then I decided to change health insurance, So I started working with Kaiser. And But that was okay. I did another tour. Then I got a bump here. And then I said, that's very strange. I should go to the doctor as soon as I arrive in Los Angeles. So I went to the doctor, and they still didn't find anything. So then we had to leave our rental home. So in the moving thing, I was helping the people carrying the boxes. And I hurt my arm, you know. So it started to hurt a lot of pain. And then in the middle of the night, I was supposed to fly to Russia the next day. In the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep. I was in pain. And then my wife said, look, let's go to the emergency just to check your arm. You cannot travel this way, you know. I said, yeah, all right, let's do it, you know. And when we got there, the doctor, she looked at me and said, look, you probably hurt your arm. That's fine. But I'm concerned about this bump and that bump. I would like to do a scan if you allow me. I really would like to see, you know, what that is. So I said, yeah, no problem. I did a scan. And that's when they found a mass, you know. They said, well, 2 doctors, 2 hours later, they arrived to me and they said, look, we found a mass in your lower abdomen, and it looks like your lymph nodes are swollen, and it looks like lymphoma to us. We still don't have the results for sure, and we suggest that you do all the exams from tomorrow on. Cancel your trips, cancel your everything. So I was like a little bit, it was surreal, you know. It was just like when you're driving at 200 miles and hit the wall, you know, like, what? I don't know if I understood. So eventually the doctor said, cancel everything, start doing your exams tomorrow. And then I called Aris from Infected and I said, look, I'm not going to join you guys in Russia. I cannot travel. I think I'm sick. I've been to the doctor. I'm at the hospital. I'm calling you from the hospital. Just don't forgive me. I can't do it. So the next day I started doing the exams. And during the exams, it was about a week of exams. They found out right away a week later that it was indeed a lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it sounds incredible, but at the time they found out, almost I think the same day, I began to feel very tired. You know, I began to feel like my energy was just not there anymore. And my doctor called me and said, Rogerio, we just wanted to talk to you and ask you to get to the hospital to admit yourself to be treated as an inpatient, because then we can do exams with you right away. You don't need to wait, you know, as an outpatient. So, but we wanted to tell you that your liver is beginning to shut down. So I said, oh my God, this is so happening so fast. But I was still in this surreal, world, you know. So I went to the doctors, to the hospital. I admit myself, and then I did some more exams. And then the next day or 2 days later, I started chemotherapy. My oncologist, Dr. Shea, she was really sharp. She was really good. She said, look, you're still young, you're still strong. You have no other issues, health issues. So probably you're going to do fine, but we still cannot tell you 100% sure that, you're going to be all right, you know? So at that moment, I had a lot of anxiety. I was messed up. So I started doing the chemotherapy. My first session was terrible, by the way. I mean, my blood pressure was up to the roof. You know, I was afraid of getting side effects and so on. Everybody tells you about side effects, but then I did a therapy. The same 2 days later, I did a therapy, and this therapy says that instead of being afraid of the chemotherapy, I should actually thank and welcome the chemotherapy into my body, because it's gonna help me fight whatever is, whatever is going on over there. So that's what I started doing. I started exercising that, and then my next session, my next chemotherapy session was much better, because I was breathing, I was focusing on myself, on my breathing, on thoughts, trying to welcome the medicine. And I mean, certain things are inevitable. I lost my hair. I lost all the hair. It's couldn't take sun. That's the stuff. But then my doctor, I had three oncologists, two oncologists, and no, I'm sorry, I had one oncologist and two bone marrow specialists, because my oncologist, she said, look, your lymphoma is very is on stage 4 now. So I said, wow, this is really tough. And said, yeah, this is tough, but with lymphomas, sometimes you have to let it develop to frame it, so we can frame it and treat it. So sometimes the level 1, stage 1 or stage 2 they're not good to treat yet. So we have to let them grow a little bit. So he said, okay, we have to start doing the chemotherapy. And after the chemotherapy, we suggest to you to do a bone marrow transplant, or stem cell transplant, if you will, at the City of Hope, because Kaiser works with City of Hope as well. So I said, look, I guess I don't have a choice. Yes, let's do it. So I did 10 sessions of chemotherapy, first of all. And after that, they did a bone marrow biopsy to see if I still had cancer. And I didn't have cancer anymore. I was in remission. So the doctor said, yeah, you're in remission. Now is the time for you to do your transplant. That doesn't mean that you're cancer free. It just means that the cancer, we cannot find it anymore. But it might be hidden. We don't know. So you're going to go home. You're going to rest for a month. And after that, we're going to admit you to City of Hope for a 3-week stem cell transplant, which is you're going to stay in a sterilized room, and they're going to harvest your blood cells. We're going to do medicine. We're going to give you medicine to make new blood cells. And then they're going to harvest. And then after they harvest, they're going to give you another 10 chemotherapy sessions, super strong sessions. And after that, you're going to start, your system is going to start going down. Your immune system is going to, we're going to wipe everything out. And then when you are 0, when you're almost dead, we're going to inject your own stem cells, brand new stem cells, into your system again. And then slowly your body will understand, and it will accept it, and it will, it will start working again. So that process took 3 weeks. And yeah, I guess, at that time, I was in my room at the hospital, and I had to make peace with myself and with everybody else, and with everything I did or I do, or everything, all my projects, all my goals, all my dreams. I had to make a peace and said, there's more to life than this. And my goals don't mean that they are important to me or not. You know, I think they are important to me, but I mean, right now there's something else. There's another call. There's something else that I have to do. And I have to let everything go and just be prepared for anything, because in the end, everything is going to be okay. If you think about it, indeed, everything is going to be okay, because all the stress we we go through life, it's just for this life. It doesn't make any sense. You know, if you have to leave this life, you know, if you have to go somewhere else. And some people even think, oh, but there's nothing. When you die, that's it. It's over. Well, then it's great too. That means that's it. Why all the stress? You know, so I really had to let it go. And then at that moment, I feel that I started feeling better, you know, and things started getting better, 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 better. The doctors were very happy. They said, wow, you're you're healing really fast and really, really good. So after the 3 weeks, they sent me home, and I had to stay home for a year and a half. So, you know, then my friend Edis from Infected Mushroom, he came and said, look, I just wanted to make sure that you know that the job is yours. We're here for you, anything you need, you know, all that stuff. It was really meant a lot to me. And so after that, I stayed home for about 7 months. I started feeling good. I started playing. I did a gig, you know, I had a gig with a friend. And then one night, a friend of mine invited me to see his show at the Avalon in Los Angeles. So I went there to watch the show. And after that, I was outside with them, talking with him and his friends at this corridor they have at Avalon. And there were a lot of people smoking cigarettes, you know, a lot of smoke. And imagine, I mean, I was like a baby, right? I mean, I had to vaccinate all over again, all the vaccines. I mean, the doctor said, look, you are like a baby now. Everything is, you know, be easy, go easy. So I was feeling good, but I was wrong. I shouldn't have gone, you know, to see the show. But anyways, I smelled all that. I was inhaling all that smoke. And then the next day I started feeling fever, 75, 85, 95, 100, 103, you know, and my daughter took me to the hospital. And my wife from the work, she met me at the hospital. And at the time I was checking in, you know, oh yeah, just sign here and we'll rush you to the room. And I forgot how to sign my name. And I said, look, I think I don't know how to sign my name anymore. And my speech was becoming kind of funny, you know. So I was having encephalitis, you know, which is the swallowing of the brain. So what happened is I passed out.
This was all triggered by going to the show?
Well, I think because what the doctor said is that every one of us have the virus of encephalitis, but because of our immune system is strong, it keeps it at bay. Like, okay, you stay right here. But in my case, my immune system was still kind of low. So the virus just saw an opportunity to thrive, you know, to spread out. And so I passed out for 6 days. So when I woke up, I didn't know where I was. I was with an IV in my veins again, and I was in the hospital bed again at the Memorial Hospital. In the middle of the night, I woke up. The doctors didn't know what to do with me. They said, look, you better call your daughter and be on standby. I mean, we don't know if he's going to survive this, because this is really, we don't know what to do. So 6 days after, I woke up, and then I had this strange feeling like I was back to the hospital. I was, I had cancer again. I was back to the hospital. So two nurses came and calmed down. I ripped the IV off, blood splattered me. I couldn't walk. So I fell, I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't play drums. I couldn't walk. I couldn't write. My speech was really tough to speak. I was speaking a little bit like this.
How long ago was that?
That was 3 years ago. Yeah. But anyways, it was, I mean, for me, people say, oh, it must have been hard for you. It was hard for me, of course. But I think when you are in the eye of the storm, it's somehow more calm. I think the people around you are the ones who really suffer. I mean, people who care about you. Because, I mean, for sure, it was really tough on the people around me,
Yeah. Well, when we talked last, I was so impressed with the support that you got while you were going through this, because we talked about that, and it sounded like from obviously your immediate family, but also from the band, holding your job open and just using a temporary guy for a while, to the fans. And I know that you have a lot in your heart to say to your fans. So I'm curious, if this vehicle is an opportunity for that, what would you like to say to them?
I will never forget what they did for me, because when I got sick, instead of keeping it to myself and being like, oh, that's embarrassing, I shouldn't say that, I'm always okay, I actually told everybody that I was sick, that I was going through a process, a journey that I didn't know where it was going. And in return, I just got positive feedback. Everybody, or almost everybody, I don't know, but a lot of people, thousands of people, they wrote back to me saying, we love you, we're praying for you, we are there with you. And that energy, I think, also helped me tremendously. The fact that I told everybody, it almost meant that I took it out of me. It was like, this doesn't belong to me. This does not belong to me. So enter, you're out. You're in, you're out. That kind of thing. I mean, so I cannot thank enough. I cannot thank them enough. I think they were unbelievable. And that's why right now I decided to work on my project, but I decided to work on it differently. I decided to really try to keep in touch with everybody, and really post my things, tell them, what new songs I have, what new projects I have. I want to share with them, because I know they really are good friends. They're for real. They're there for me,
So
and I want to be there for them.
Of course. And you are going to give back through your music and through everything else. So this new project that you're referring to, is it outside of Infected Mushroom, or is it with them? What's that about?
It's outside. Before I entered Infected Mushroom Band, I had my solo albums. I had 3 solo albums, and then I recorded another one, 4th one. But because I got so busy with Infected, I didn't have time to promote any of the albums. And they go through from electronica to Brazilian pop to progressive rock to, to world music. Because that's my background. I'm a Brazilian guy who lived in Germany and now lives in LA. I mean, I started to put all that stuff. I want, no borders with music. So, and now this album that I'm working now, I'm going to sing in Portuguese. And it's going to have this reggae flavor to it. with African, a little bit of Caribbean flavor to it. So it's going to be, I'm very excited because I'm having horn sections and, all the musicians are super excited. They're super happy recording on the album. They like the music. It's a great sign for me. And it's outside of Infected.
And then what's going on with the band? Are they going to be touring again, or where are you at with that?
Yeah, we always tour. Infected always tours. Our style is we go out on the weekends, and then we go back home, come back home. So I've been doing this for 10 years. Right now, at the moment, Infected has two types of shows. They have a show with a band, and they have a show with only the two of the guys, Aries and Dude, that playing as DJs. It's a DJ show. And promoters around the world prefer the DJ set right now. Basically for financial reasons, I should say. It's easier to fly two guys than fly five guys and 5 hotel rooms and 5, So we are still playing. Like next month, I'm going to have 4 shows in Europe. And October, I'm going to have another 4 shows in Russia and Eastern Europe. So it's fine. But for me, work-wise, of course, I miss work. But now I decided to learn and to promote my album. Since I have the time, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna be sitting down. I've been sitting down for a year and a half. So now I have the energy to really go after, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, obviously looking at you now and then in person a week ago, you really just you're glowing. You have a vibrancy about you. You seem really, really healthy. I don't think I ever would have known that you were sick. So hearing your story just really blew me away. And I think really what touched me was, well, obviously how heartfelt you are about your experience in terms of the support that you got and the fans and the band and their family and everything, and just how you've really taken that to heart. But also the life lessons that you had regarding letting things go, and that I think we all run around thinking our world is on fire, half the time, that everything we're doing is so important, and it's hard to take anything off the to-do list. But that being faced with death a couple times, it sounds like, you were at a place where all of that had to melt away, and you were basically left with yourself and your circumstances and just being in that very present moment. And what I heard you say was that it came down to having a acceptance and an allowing for those conditions, and basically saying that all that other stuff isn't important. Sure, it can make life interesting and give us some purpose, while we're here, but it sounds like you were tapping into a higher purpose that may even transcend this particular lifetime. I just loved hearing about that from you.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I think now, for example, I'm a complete different person than before. And sometimes I even ask myself, if what happened to me, if it was really horrible or not, because there was this positive spin, which was so strong in my life. Because people always relate things, being positive, I'm making money and there's nothing to do with it. It's just being happy from inside out, and I got that happiness. I look at things differently now. And I'm just a happy person, right now. How can I say in English? I am more present than ever. I live now, for example, our conversation is now. That's what I am doing,
I can see that. There's so much worry when you project too far in the future. And of course, the people that live in the past, have an air of sadness to them. So
Yeah,
it is a lot about staying present, but it's hard to do, especially when you're thinking about security and kind of paving the way for your future. So it's fantastic that you're so in the moment, because I imagine that really comes out in your music as well, because you may not be as stressed about what's going to happen with the album as much as giving it all you got right now.
that's exactly what's happening. I'm so happy because that's exactly, I'm not overthinking about doing a track or producing or recording drums or singing or, I'm not really overthinking. I just let the music flow inside, just feel it, and do it,
Mhm. Well, I think I asked you before that, if someone was, well, and let's just say if somebody had somebody in their lives that was going through something of this magnitude, or sick, or has experienced something of that nature, what can they do to make an impact for that person? Because I think that it can be challenging to even know how to make a difference. And it sounds like your fans rose up and gave you support, and they didn't stay quiet about it. They kept in connection with you. What would you say people can do to support the people in their lives that are going through this kind of thing?
you know a simple fact, a simple phrase, let's say, like, we're praying for you, we feel what you're going through, and we're there with you. It's already super helpful. At least for me, it was really helpful. I mean, some people, I never really met the people. They've seen me on shows, they know me because of the band. So, but they wrote to me, they said, look, wow, I'm so sorry, but I am with you. I'm praying for you. I'm sending you all my positive vibes and all my energy. I mean, this is really beautiful. And that's what I suggest. I think people should be like that to other people if they really care for the other people, for the other person.
Yeah. And so it sounds like the outreach was really impactful for you, and then also obviously you stayed in connection with your band and got reassurance there about your job and that kind of level of security. So how did that feel for you when you found out that that job was going to be waiting for you?
Well, I felt that I actually is a feeling like with your family, for example. It's like no matter what you do, you're still part of your family. And that's how I felt. I felt like no matter what's happening right now, I'm part of that family. And whenever if I come back, they will be there waiting for me. So that was really, really, really beautiful for me. I mean, that feeling, just, I was not worried about anything anymore. I was not worried about anything. So not even my family, because I knew if something had happened to me, they would step in and help my family for sure.
Absolutely.
So I just said, I thank you so much. That's what I was always thinking. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just really in a state of gratitude, it sounds like, throughout the whole thing. We also talked about people that you've met that have been, diagnosed, and that really have a very different attitude than you, that are struggling to maintain a positive attitude. Do you have anything to say to them about how maybe they can maintain, or take on some of the views that you have that have really helped you?
Well, I think that I know it works differently with each person, but my suggestion would be to never keep everything inside of you, because it's not part of you. So you should be an instrument of, you receive that, but then you you throw it away again. At least try. Some people, I met, unfortunately, some people that were like, they were sick, but they were not really, they thought only they were sick. I mean, it happens to so many people. all the time, you know.
Well, that's a big reason why I thought this video can really help people, because when I heard your story and just how unbelievable it must have been to be on the road and thriving and making all this music and being, you know, having so much going on, to literally having to stop everything and having your life on the line, that is, if you're able to handle it so gracefully under that kind of duress, then other people dealing with stressful circumstances or other medical issues that may or may not be as severe, that they could, you know, model after you and be at least inspired by your story and how you handle things, which, you know, really, like I said, was so graceful in my opinion. It's just, it's truly inspiring that you were able to stay in this place of gratitude, but also have these great life lessons about letting go and managing stress. So much of what I'm trying to teach with inside the Glow Living community is live work balance. And so excited to bring in more of my musician community to talk about it, because, you know, what you guys are living is a little bit counterculture. You know, there's a lot of stress and some self-imposed, but to make it in an industry that isn't, that there's not really a clear road. You have to forge your own road. You've got to, you know, in some cases be willing to work, I mean, crazy hours and touring and things that are hard on the body around drugs and alcohol. I mean, there's just, it's everything's pushed to the extreme in the music industry, whether people understand that or not. And if you are able to have a wife and a family and a home life and manage through all of these kind of things, then anybody can. Because it's intense.
I agree with you. I think everybody can. Everybody can. Because people have to stop thinking like the bad things are only happening to them. You know, this is how life is. This is just life. In the end, everything's going to be okay. So the moment you really believe in that and you think, yeah, it makes sense. It's going to be okay. Yes. No matter if I live or not, it's going to be okay. Okay. We love to live, but we have to give to life. Life is bigger than us. I mean, we can't really fight, you know, I want to live forever, or everything is a transition, you know, everything changes all the time. So, I mean, it's good to go with the waves, you know, because if you fight the waves, you're just gonna be stressed. Your life is gonna be miserable. You're gonna be miserable, you know.
Absolutely.
You just have to float with it.
You sound, you know, like you're so brave and so courageous for what you've gone through, but also in this place of really wanting to share your experience to help other people, but also to show your immense gratitude for your community that supported you. So I just want to honor that and thank you so much for sharing it with me and your fans and the Glow community. And I just hope that we can continue this dialogue over time. And I want to track what's happening with you in your career and make the music available to our fans. And I think it'll just be really exciting that this is just the first step for us in our relationship to sharing so many wonderful observations about life and, you know, maybe things that'll inspire people. So I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say back to you and your experience from this.
Thank you so much, Chandra.